What does it take to stand against overwhelming odds and protect a city in its darkest hour? One of the most remarkable figures who defended Jerusalem during the medieval period was Balian of Balian. His story unfolds in the backdrop of the siege of Jerusalem in 1187, a pivotal moment in history when the forces of the famous Muslim leader, Sultan Saladin, threatened to claim the city. But who was Balian, and how did he rise to prominence in a time of such peril? Balian was a nobleman from the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem who became famous for his role in the siege of Jerusalem in 1187 against the forces of the famous Muslim leader, Sultan Saladin. Balian was born into the influential Balian family, a noble Crusader lineage in the kingdom of Jerusalem. His family held several territories, including the castle of Balian, and became prominent in the politics and military affairs of the Crusader states. Balian was the third son and therefore didn't initially stand to inherit the family title, but he later became Lord of Balian and, by marriage, Lord of Nablus. Balian married Maria Comnena, the widow of King Amalric I and stepmother to Baldwin IV, thus tying him closely to the royal family. This relationship gave him influence in the kingdom's politics, although he often found himself balancing complex rivalries within the Crusader nobility. In 1187, following the Battle of Hattin, where Saladin decisively defeated the Crusader forces and captured Jerusalem's king, Guy of Lusignan, Saladin marched on Jerusalem itself. With most of the Crusader army defeated or imprisoned, the city was left largely defenseless. At that time, Balian had initially intended to flee the city, but was convinced to stay by the city's residents, who begged him to lead the defense in their desperate situation. Despite having a small force and limited supplies, Balian rallied the people of Jerusalem and organized its defenses. He knighted all men of fighting age, even those without noble birth, and built makeshift defenses to prepare for the siege. For several days, Balian and his forces bravely held back Saladin's large army, knowing they could not hope to win, but determined to protect the civilians within the walls as long as possible. After several days of fierce resistance, Balian realized that the defense of the city could not last much longer, and any further fighting would only bring more bloodshed. In a bold move, he negotiated directly with Saladin, asking for safe passage for the people of Jerusalem if they surrendered peacefully. Initially, Saladin refused, but was eventually persuaded by Balian's determined negotiations to allow civilians to leave in exchange for a ransom. Saladin agreed to this, a remarkable show of mercy during a time when victorious armies often slaughtered defeated cities' inhabitants. In the end, while Jerusalem fell, Balian's defense and negotiations saved thousands of lives. Balian's leadership, bravery, and dedication to the city's people made him a hero among the Crusaders and earned him a lasting place in the history of Jerusalem.